Hi students, hope all you are safe. We know you are locked inside your homes. We are from Networkz Systems, the leading trusted training brand in South India. To encourage you and to prepare you for the interviews after this lockdown. Here we are coming to each of you through a free online webinar on soft skills on the 2nd of May from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. 4 speakers from the industry will be handling 4 topics that are how to attend interviews after lockdown, forms and job portals to search jobs. We are expecting 1,000 student participation for this free webinar. So don't wait, register now and confirm your seats. For registration, log on to www.networksystems.com/webinar. For more details, call us.
Hello, Prakash.
Yes.
Can start.
So very good morning to all. Whether the audio is audible to you in the chat box. If it's audible in the chat box, you can type S. Okay. Okay. So hi all. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the webinar on soft skills. I'm Prakash Subramanian, Manager Technical for Network Systems to Andhra. Network Systems is the South India's leading IT and ITES training company expertised on student, corporate, and defense training programs. So on behalf of Network Systems, I welcome all participants who all joined for this webinar and are viewing this webinar on air through our YouTube channel. I would like to thank the entire team of Network Systems and Srikat Solutions who connected you all to this webinar. Well, today we have 4 eminent speakers to interact with you. They are Dr. Chakochan Mathai, Mr. Shivadas V, Mr. Alagarajan C, and Mr. Ramkumar R. Dr. Chakochan Mathai is the director of Network System and he is the CEO of Franchising Right Way. He's having more than 30 years of experience in IT services, retail sales, branding, and consulting. He's a global speaker, writer, business coach, and a family wellness trainer. Mr. Shivadas V is the business head of Network Systems, heading its branding and corporate trainings. He's having more than 25 years of experience in skilling and branding. He's a hardcore soft skill trainer by all means. Mr. Alagarajan C is the Executive Director of Network Systems and Srikat Solutions Private Limited. He's having more than 25 plus years of experience in IT and ITS training segments. He has skilled many youngsters to compete with industry requirements since from 2002. Mr. Ramkumar holds a multiple role in Srikat Solutions as technical manager and business development manager. He's a certified PMP trainer of Synergy School of Business, Trivandrum. He's having more than 20 years of experience in corporate training segments. Once again, I welcome all the webinar participants and wish you all a wonderful learning, inspiring, and a motivational session. So let us start the webinar with the energetic speaker of the day, Dr. Chakochan Mathai, on setting goals for achievements. Thank you. Over to Dr. Chakochan.
Good morning. A very warm welcome to each one of you who gathered on the web for this particular session. It's a fantastic time for each one of us to connect and learn something today very useful. Let me, as you heard my profile, I've been helping youngsters and corporates and families, and I've been in coaching field for so many years. And I help entrepreneurs, young people to set goals in the life and achieve them. Now, I can talk about myself. I've set many goals and I've achieved many of them in my life. So I would like to share some of my experiences today and also help you to set goals. Let me ask you a question this morning. If you have a notebook or a pen next to you, I hope you all have something next to you, because you're going to set your own goals. You're going to write your own goals and keep them ready for yourself so that you will be able to achieve them. And probably one day you will come back and say that you attended one of our seminars of network system, and then you made this possible in your life. How many of you agree with me that it is possible to achieve goals? So I want to just share with you, if you look at the life of many athletes, they would set a goal and there would be a coach behind them to achieve this. Now, what happens when you're alone in this world? When you're alone, in the sense like, yeah, I will do it. I will somehow make it happen. And then there's a kind of a lethargy, or maybe you find something else happening to your life and you may not be inclined to do this. So how do we specifically set our goals is what we're going to learn today. And most of you must be part of the engineering group, or probably a arts college, arts college student. But I'm sure that most of you might be students. So I don't know what goals that you will set at this point of time, but I'm sure that there will be some goals that you will set, because after COVID, you need to have some goals for yourself. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for us to achieve them in our lives. So let me now share the screen for you to learn what we are going to learn today. Give me a minute. Can you see the share? Can you see my screen? Are you able to see my screen? No, right? Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Can you say yes on the chat? All right. So what is a goal? A goal is something that you would like to achieve in life. People try to reach goals within a finite time by setting deadlines. Now, you need to set goals in life. For example, I remember when I was a young kid, my dad wanted me to become a doctor by profession. But unfortunately, I did not achieve that goal. But I decided that I will achieve that goal in some way. So I told my dad before he died, I went to him and told him, Daddy, you wanted me to become um, a professional, I mean, a doctor by profession. But unfortunately, I could not make it. But I want to tell you that I will have a DR in front of me and I will make you proud. It took many years for me to achieve that. It took so many years, but I pursued it. I pursued continuously working on it. And today, I'm proud to say that I have a DR in front of me. It was not very easy. It was very tough. But I know it's because of the continued promise that I had gave my father. And also, I was able to, continuously work on this. And that was the reason that I was able to achieve that. So I want you to look at how we could set goals in life and how we could achieve them. Something that you would like to achieve in life, people try to reach goals within a finite time by setting deadlines. So the important fact of achieving the goal is through a finite timeline and deadlines. That's the key for achieving the goals. All right. So we need to set timelines. For example, some of you, I don't know if you have made your CVs ready. If you're not made your CVs ready, it is time for you to make your CD ready. So it is important that you would set a date and say, in the next, you would write a date saying that I will do this on this particular day. Now, when you don't do that on that particular day, you have missed the deadline and therefore your goal is not achieved. All right. So a goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or a group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieve. Now, a goal is an idea. That means you need to have some ideas popping up in your mind. Now, I want to become an engineer. Okay, you joined your course for 4 years. And in the 4 years that you're studying, you probably might have an arrear in the first year, maybe, I don't know. Some of you might have an arrear, some of you may not have an arrear. The other day, I was speaking to the Kerala department, one department where I went to do a program called excuse management. It's a very interesting program. If you want to become a goal-oriented person, you cannot give excuses in life. If you start giving excuses in life, you cannot achieve your goals. So I was doing a program for the people of the government people in Kerala. We have done about 6 to 7 programs, and we have seen tremendous change of people. And they write back to us saying that, thank you, sir, for coming in and teaching how not to give excuses. Now, I just want to tell you that this program will be soon aired by Networkz system soon, and you will be going through that very soon. But I want to tell you, if you want to become a goal-oriented person, it's an idea of the future of desired result that a person or a group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieve. So that's the key for goal setting. Now, what is the purpose of setting goals? Each one need to set a purpose. You need to have a purpose and set the goals. Goals gives us the direction and keep us focused on where we need to reach in our lives. For example, that you are becoming an engineer. As you have got into the first year or second year, you may not know where you want to go. But by the time you reach the third and the fourth year, you will be able to decide which industry that you would like to focus and what is your strength that you are deriving, and you will be able to work towards that and set the goal or the purpose of the goal. A goal gives us the direction and keeps us focused on where we need to reach in our lives. So you need to set a goal, saying that some of you might be IT programmers, Some of you may be saying, I'm a mechanical engineer, therefore I want to go into the core industry. Some of me say, no, I have studied mechanical, but unfortunately I am going to do something else. So what is that something else? You need to decide. I just want you to, I mean, please don't disturb the, please don't do anything on the screen, please. It's distracting me, please. Gives us goals, gives us the direction and keep us focused on where we need to reach in our lives. That's very important to us. We need to set a purpose for the goals. There are different types of goal setting. For example, some of them would set a goal called short-term goals that are very achieved in a short time. For example, your examination is a very short-term goal. It's a very short-term goal because it is a time bound. You know the end date. The date is, let's say, July 17th is the exam. You're very clear about this short-term goal. Now, what are we supposed to do? You need to write down how many chapters that I need you to study for the exam, how many question papers that you need to look at, what kind of materials that you need to prepare. All these are short-term goals, very, very simple and very short-term. There are some goals which are long-term goals, goals that are far-reaching and time taken to reach in a few years. That means, for example, now after you finish your graduation, you might decide that you want to go abroad and study. So that's a goal, that's a long-term goal. But it could also come into short-term because you might do a GMAT or a TOEFL, and then you might IELTS or something, and then you like to go abroad. So that is a short-term goal, but the long-term goal is to reach abroad and study. So that is one of the long-term goals that you can look at. Now, I want to talk about how do we set goals. Now, setting goals is one of the key factors is called as the SMART goals, which is very, very specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Now, goals in goal setting, in general, people talk about specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound goal setting. Now, let me talk a little bit about specific. Now, specific means, for example, that I want to set up a goal for, let's say, I want to reduce 10 kilos. Now, you cannot just say that I will reduce 10 kilo. I mean, I will reduce, you cannot say a standard word called I will reduce. Now, I will reduce how many kilos has to be, it has to be measurable. That's why measure is 10. And you might say 10 in 2 months may not be possible. It is not attainable. Maybe 10 kilos in 6 months would be possible. So you write saying that I would lose 10 kilos in 6 months, which is very relevant, which is possible. And it's also time bound. You have a time period, which is 6 months. So therefore, I would ask you all to write down SMART goals for you. SMART goals is specific. Okay, I have an arrear and this arrear needs to be cleared off. And during this semester, I will write this test and I will prepare for this. So in your SMART goal, you write number of hours that you would study and number of books that you would refer, and you would do it every day. It is an everyday practice. You can't just say, one day I will just get up and start doing something. It is not possible, right? So so you need to write SMART goals for yourself. Now I just want you to write down this particular thing. There are six areas of life that you could set goals. Okay, So there are 6 areas that you could set goals, and it can be on specific topics. So you might tweak this particular goals on the particular segments, like different segments of life you could set goals. All right. So, and this can change from time to time, but the standard template that we are talking about are these, and you can specifically set goals on this. Now I do this entire program for a day, but I'm just doing this for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and I'm just trying to compress the whole thing in a very short span of time. So I just want to give you a little bit, but at the same time, maybe sometime later, we at Network System would be probably keen to start something on goal setting and give it to you in a 2-hour program or a 4-hour program soon. Now the first one is health. Now unless we have good health, we will not be able to if you're not fit, we can't do many things. So therefore I would say you need to fit goals for health. That means keeping ourselves fit. That means you need to do exercise. Now if you say that I want to do exercise, you got to fix a time, saying that every day 5 o'clock I will get up and I will do exercise. So you need to set a time, and then you need to do that. Now the next thing is education. Now people set goals for education. I want to complete my master's in computer sciences. I want to finish my PhD in computer sciences. And probably you need to fix that up and say, okay, by this year, which year? Let's say you are in 2020 and you say by 2024 or 22, I would like to complete my my education in this particular field. So please, try to write down this in your goal sheet. You need to make a goal sheet for yourself, and then says what is specific, smart goals, and then you need to put these into perspective. So you need to put a health goal, you need to put an educational goal, and then you need to put up a job goal. Somebody say, okay, I want to try let's say 20 different companies. So you need to find out what are the 20 different companies that you have, and then probably you need to work on that and look at all those companies, get all the email IDs of the HR. You should get all the contact numbers. So that's a great job that is there. It's jobs doesn't come that easily. So you need to pick that up and then do that. So you probably have to do that. All right. So you need to find the correct jobs that you want to do. So you fix up how many companies that you would search for in the same particular industry, and you need to send your CVs to them, right? The next one is financial goals. For example, some of you might say by another 5 years time, I will get the first job. I mean, some of you on the first year, maybe you might say, I will get the first job, and I will earn so much of money, and I will be making X amount of money. So that's a financial goal. I will earn so much, right? So those are some of the things that you could I just want to know who is doing this, scribbling on the. If you're not interested, please leave this place, boss. I don't want you to do this. You're distracting the people here. Please stop this. The next one is financial. Nirmal, see if you can stop that particular thing happening, Nirmal. The next one is financial. You need to set a goal for financial, financial goals that you need to actually fit. Then some of you might say, okay, we need to have some spiritual goals. For example, you might be a person who is very religious. So you might set up a spiritual goal. For example, if you're a Christian, you might say that I want to go to Velangani by so many so many years or so many months. So you might have a short-term goal. If you're a Hindu, probably you might say you might visit Sabrimala, or you might visit Tirupati. So some goal, some dates, some tentative dates need to be written down on your goals sheet. And that's very important, so that you will achieve them and you will feel good about everything that you write down. Actually, goals are written down on a piece of paper. If you keep it in your mind, you will not be able to actually achieve it. So it is important for you to actually look at this. Actually, how do I do this? How do I actually write down these things very specifically? And you will have to do this. So it's all, goals cannot be just kept in your mind. It has to be written down. The best is to stick it down in your mirror. Every day you can put this, if you put this written down on your mirror, every time when you comb, you will be able to see this and say, well, I need to do something today. Now, some of you might have a family goal. What do you mean by family goal? A family, for example, some of you might say, okay, we need to go for a vacation. And as a family, you might try to go out for a vacation, and that needs to be planned. So if you want to set a goal for seeing a new location in India, for example, you want to travel somewhere and you want to do, so you need to fix a deadline for that. You need to deadline and say who are all going and what is the cost. Everything needs to be planned, everything needs to be assessed, and then say on this day we will book the tickets, and so many days we're going to go out. Who will book the who will be actually booking up the the hotel, the tickets, everything has to be planned. So therefore, when you set goals, it's easy for us to achieve them. So I'm going to talk about students, and this is very important for your interview in the days to come. So I just want to talk to you about total transformation. You, from being a student, you got to become a professional. That's why today you're attending a program like this, and you are going to be transformed. I'm sure by end of this session, there will be some transformation that you'll be looking at. And I'm sure you will see transformation for yourself. Maybe you're becoming a goal-oriented person after this session. You might start, putting them into practice. Whatever you have learning today, you might start taking notes, and then you are actually in the process of a complete transformation. You need to have attitude, right? A for attitude. You need to have great attitude, positive attitude in life. Anything that you want to achieve, you need to achieve through a great and positive attitude. So TAS, S is for skills. Now, some of you might not have great skills. If you don't have skills, you need to acquire skills. You need to actually start working. Some of you may not have great computer skills. You need to work on. Some of you may not have great English speaking skills. So probably you need to go and find out where you can get some English coaching, and then you can develop your English knowledge, right? So that's very important. Or maybe you are a mechanical engineer and you don't have mechanical skills, or maybe you're an electrical engineer and you don't have much of electrical knowledge. So probably you need to look at these skills to be developed, or you may not have soft skills today. That's why you're attending this program, because if you don't have soft skills, you may not be able to survive in a company. Many a times we have seen that people do not have soft skills when they apply for a job, and it's very difficult to work in teams. So you might need to have some skills that you can work on as a team player. So learn, I mean, in your college, if they are offering you a soft skills training, please attend that. It will help you. So the K is for knowledge. Now, in your subject, you need to have adequate knowledge, and this knowledge will help you to be in the race of competition, and you might score well, and you might get a job well placed. And that is exactly what you need to set your goals for. So task and transformation is very important. Transformation, you need to have great attitude, you need to have great skills and great knowledge. I'm sure that you would have enjoyed the morning session, and I'm sure that continuously my team will be able to give you more talks on various other topics, and I'm sure that you will enjoy today's session. Thank you very much. And is there any question that I can take? Unmute and you can take I can take some questions, few questions. You can put it in the chat.
Okay, then thank you, Mr. Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Shivadas, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's yours. Share your screen and you can go ahead.
Nirmal, kindly see who is drawing on the board here. I mean, it's too disturbance.
Yeah,
It's very. Just check and then see if you can block that person.
yeah, sure.
Hi, good evening, good morning, everyone. I hope it's legible. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
You can proceed, Shivadas. Yeah, Shivadas, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you can proceed. They are under mute. You can proceed. Yes.
All right, good. Now, see, the thing we want to do is about time management. It's been a pretty, this four-letter word time has been pretty useful for all of us success. If you look at time management, this is one of the areas where most of the people are, finding it difficult to get things done on time because they have got a, slight issue with the time management. Now, if you look at it, time management is now, as per the concerned, there are a couple of people from students to working professionals. I'll try to summarize this next 30 minutes of my presentation to you in three aspects. One, how to effectively use the time. Second, what is the importance of time management? And three, how can you do it better? See, as Dr. Chako was mentioning, you have to do goals in your life. The same thing like this, you should also have a time management in your, in your daily profession. Now, what is time management? Answer. Let us make it more interactive so that people will not be, getting bored or sleep. What is time management? The time management refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. See, if you look at it, the successful people, every successful people, whatever category they might be, they have got two things. One, they are using their time effectively. See, if you look at time, this 24 hours is what we are getting for it. Whether you are a student, whether you are an employed person, whether you are a working professional, whatever, whether you are a businessman, you get only 24 hours per day. How we use those 24 hours is what matters for our success. A successful person will be using his time in a most beautiful manner, rather systemized manner. Let's do it like this. I'll go to the next slide. Why time management? What is the importance of time management? Importance of time management is one is it is the passing of life. For example, the time and life, both are four-letter words, and these two words have been totally related. As the time goes off, life also goes off. Now, if you're a student, for example, by directly or indirectly, we are managing the time. But it's not managed by ourselves. It has been automatically getting managed. For example, your college is saying that 9 to 4, you have to be in the college. What this actually means, you're making sure that you're reaching that 9 and you're coming out 4. This is what matters. And if you're working somewhere, you're going to the office by 9, coming out by 6. So 9 plus 3 plus 6 is 9 hours if you're going to spend over there. And every time spent, the moment when you finish that particular day, if you really look at it, you might say that I may not be that successful. The reason behind that is you have not used time wisely and effectively. See, in your life, if you look at the time schedule for a day, 24 hours for average human being, he or she needs around 4 days, 6 to 8 hours. I would exercise for 2 to 3 hours. Then he got a profession, whatever might be, he's a student or she is a working woman or he's a businessman. You should be able to spend the time as per the profession needs it. You have to manage your time effectively. So it's passing of life, management has become quite important. Second is a common resource. What is this common resource? Why it is a common resource? This common resource because everybody in the world, across any continent, any place, any city, any village, any location, everybody has got 24 hours. Even me, I'm got 24 hours. You have got 24 hours. It's a common resource. It's been given to you at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. rather, you call it, and it's given to you. And at the end of the day, if you look at it, some people will use it effectively, some people will use it, but they will not use it effectively. So what happens is this common resource has to be used effectively for your success. Third, it is perishable. Now, if somebody on May 1st, 2020 back, you'll not get it back. Suppose I would say you want 2010 back.
Shivadas,
Yeah.
we have some technical issue because the picture and the audio is not clear. So
Okay.
can I hold your session and switch over to Ram Kumar so that we can clear this and we can come back.
Okay. Why it is? Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Ram Kumar. Hello, Mr. Ram Kumar. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear loud and.
Okay, so I hope due to some of the technical issues, we can hold Mr. Shivada's session. So it's your time. You can continue.
Yeah, fine. You can stop the screen share so I can start over from here.
Hello.
Yeah, Shivadas, can you please stop the screen sharing?
Possible. Endu ഞാനൊന്ന് കാണും.
Sir.
Oh. Sorry, ഞാൻ അതെയോ?
Ramkumar, you can share now.
Thanks, Nirmal.
Hello, sir. Oh. Unmuted.
A very warm welcome to one and all. Hope you can all hear me. I am Ram Kumar, and we will be interacting through the chat box. If you can hear me, please chat Y in your chat box. Yeah, thanks for the chat. And for the next 30 minutes, we will be discussing related to social media platform presence for a job search. And let me first introduce myself. I am Ram Kumar. I take care of multiple roles. I take care of the business role for CAT Center and Synergy School of Business Skills in Trivandrum and Nagarkovil. And basically, I'm a mechanical engineer. And I started off with this organization in 2006. I have took multiple roles like manager, technical, business head, and project management, training professional. And let me move on. Can I go to the next slide? Small introduction to my family also. This is my wife, Gopika. She's a teacher, and with us are our kids, Karthik and Kanchana. And this picture is taken in front of Jadayu Rock, which is Asia's largest birds culture. It is near to my native place. It is at Chadayamangalam and Kollam district. And okay, today's session I will be sharing few informations to you, something like a guru where you can gain some knowledge, where you can use it for your career building. And let me introduce my first gurus. These are my first gurus. This is my father and mother. Both are retired right now. My father was working with a bank and my mother retired as a headmistress. Okay, then let's go to our session. So session is, can you type the session name, what we started off? Everyone can use the chat box to type in, yeah, fine. Social media, there is two ways you can do the chat box. You can send the chat box. In the chat box, you can send it to everyone your reply. Yeah, social media job search, social media platform for job searching. So what I will do is, I will start off with job searching. So right now, everyone is in lockdown, right? Due to COVID-19, we are in a lockdown situation. So I want to know how the job search will be before and after COVID. Do you really believe that the job search will be same before COVID as well as after COVID? If you feel that it will be same, you can say yes. If it is no, you can type in N. Will there be any changes in the job search after this pandemic situation, after all this lockdown is over? Yeah, we are getting plenty of answers from no. Few are saying yes, we are saying no. Why it will be a no? Why the job search will be different after this pandemic period? From 2006 on till now, I have been conducting thousands of interviews for various posts like technical interviews, manager technical, sales, business managers. And usually we used to conduct interviews with good gatherings. Yeah, economy is real dull. That is one reason. Do you really think that you can go to an interview where there are 10 participants, 20 participants sitting together and attending an interview? Is there any option? Yes, there will be more online interview like what we are currently seeing. We are doing an online webinar. In the same way, there is every chance that most of the interviews will be online or the process will be more of online. We cannot keep everyone together in one place because we have to follow social distancing. That means impact of social media will be very huge in the job search as we move forward. Yeah, work from home will become a new normal once we move forward. Okay, fantastic. The next question is, are you prepared for the recruitment process after COVID-19? Because currently we are facing the lockdown. After lockdown, definitely most of the people in this gathering will be those who are searching for job, those who are in their final years, or those who are completed their engineering or their degree and looking for jobs. Are you really prepared for the recruitment process after COVID-19? Other answers coming like there is no business. Business will be there. After the lockdown, there will be business. All the business will come back and there will be plenty of jobs. We should not say that there will not be a job. There will be plenty of jobs. The style of job will be changing, like most of them will be automated. They will look out for more work from home type of methods. Okay, next we will move on to, okay, which are the media you are currently using for the job search? Which media you are using for job search? Or what is the format? Yeah, few people are saying that LinkedIn, Facebook, Indeed. Yeah. Naukri, Shine Jobs, etc. Okay, these are the mediums which we are currently using for the job search, right? Fantastic. My next question is, which are the social media you are currently using? Can you name few social medias which you are currently using? Yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, Reddit, FB, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. Yeah, almost everyone is fully in social media, right? Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, they are all present in social medias. Okay, fine and clear. The most important question is social media really important in a job search? I'm not asking about LinkedIn because it is a professional network. I am asking about other social medias which you are using like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Okay, how do you feel that social media can impact your job search? What are factors can in fact impact your job search? No, more than anybody saying that it will definitely impact. Okay, let's see how the employees or the HR managers are using the social media. Okay, many of you have mentioned about LinkedIn, Facebook, and all. Most employees currently are using LinkedIn as a secondary resume. Even if you are sending a resume, most of them search you in LinkedIn, they look it as a secondary resume, as well as they used to look at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as a more personal resume. They want to know more about the employee, especially when we are in a lockdown situation, especially after COVID. Most of the employees will be doing the background study with the help of this social media, and you have to be very careful in using your social media and what all things you are posting in social media. And I will share a few statistics. More than half of the employees have used social media content to decide whether to select a candidate or not. It was a survey conducted by Career Builder. And don't get scared. Don't feel that since you are having a Facebook account, it doesn't mean that you will not get a job. Because you can see some statistics here. Usually employees are looking for, around 58% of the employees are looking for information that supports your qualification for the job. That is not, that means that they are actually supporting you for the job. They are checking whether the candidate is having a professional online persona. That means what they are presenting to others through online. You know, Facebook and all, we try to share informations on how we want to present ourselves in front of others, in front of our friends, in front of the relatives and all. And only 35% of people, 35% of people looking at what others are posting about you. and only 22% is taking this as a reason for not hiring the candidate. Okay, on a positive note, we can see that 37% of the hiring managers said that they found a lot of information that are supporting the candidate's professional qualification, and even 33% were impressed with the candidate's professional image, and even 35% thought that the candidate is displaying excellent creativity. Do share your doubts in the chat box. Even if we are not updating all the information, I will share my WhatsApp, I will share my contact details where you can even get back to chat and we will clear your doubts. Okay, let me come to the next point. Photos are important resumes. Hope everyone is having their resumes ready. Do you have photos in your resume? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Yeah, majority of you are putting as a Y or yes. Okay, photos are important resumes. Everyone is agreeing for that, right? And almost everyone is having a social media profile, most probably Facebook. So we will take one platform for our study. We are not going to take all the platforms like Instagram, TikTok and all, Twitter and all. We will be taking as for study only Facebook. Will the Facebook profile picture impacts hiring? What is your answer? Yes or no? Facebook profile picture, will it impact the hiring process? Maybe don't know. Okay, interesting enough, let me share my experience. Whenever I get a resume for the interview, I try to have a search in the social media. Are they having a presence in social media, using their name, using their email ID? Do you know that we can do a search in the Facebook? Unless otherwise they have given some different name in their Facebook profiles, still there's a chance that using their current city, using their colleges, using their email ID, phone number, we can still search and reach their Facebook profiles. Shagar is commenting that employees never look out for a Facebook page. It is not true, Shagar. Employees are really looking at your Facebook pages. A lot of employees are looking at your Facebook page. A lot of HR managers are looking at your Facebook page. They may not be commenting on that, but they used to look for a search. Since you are okay, is it stalking is a question. Actually, when you're publicly posting something in Facebook, that means it is available for public. Anyone in public can actually search and find out this information. Otherwise, you should be keeping it there are different options in Facebook, right? You can keep it only for friends, only for friends of friends. You can keep it public. The moment you are selecting it as public, Facebook gives a notification say that this will be public. It will go to public because you are willingly putting this in public. So it is not considering under stalking, as well as employees is using it very widely to have a clear idea about your persona. What is your political views? What are the contents which you are following? What are the friend cycle you are having? What is your comment about previous employees and all? And in the same way, the Facebook profile picture also is impacting the hiring process. So when you are going for a job search, you have to be very careful with what you are posting in Facebook. The same applies to other medias also. We are taking Facebook as an example here. You can do the same for your Instagram as well as other social media platforms you are using. We are taking only Facebook as an example here for the explanation. Another interesting one, what if you don't have a social media presence? Anyone in this group of participants who are not having any presence in social media? No Facebook profile, no Twitter profile, no LinkedIn profiles. Okay, everyone is having a social media presence, right? No FB is there, okay, fine. Yes, sometimes if you don't have a presence in social media, that also can impact. Okay, this is not a personal opinion. I will put out few statistics supporting that. From the research conducted by few HR agencies, they are saying that 47% of employees say that if they cannot find a candidate online, if there is no presence online by the candidate, they are less likely to call that person in for an interview. That means it is very important for you to be having a presence online. The bare minimum, you should be having a LinkedIn profile. If you don't really like to spend time with Facebook, Twitter, and Insta and all, at least you should be having a good professional LinkedIn profile, because it is based upon statistics. There are HR managers or employees who say that, and the percentage is very huge. 47% say that they are less likely to call that candidate for an interview if the candidate is not having an online presence. That means definitely you have to build up an online presence. Till now, if you don't have an online presence, and make sure that it is updated. I hope most of you will be having a new information that the employees and HR managers are searching the social media, right? Okay, if you feel that it is a new information, please type yes, Y for us. If you already have that information, you can type N for no. Having a Facebook page or social media page is an eligibility. No, your basic qualification is your eligibility. What is your persona? Persona means what you are presenting in front of others will be mainly seen inside your Facebook profile. So employees are looking at your profile. So you have to make sure that your profile is kept very professionally. Social media, yeah, like compared, social media is like a boost if you are using it effectively. Facebook is not mandatory. LinkedIn is mandatory if you are looking for job search. If you are not there in Facebook, we will discuss it in the coming slides. And next statistic says that 28% is saying that because they like to gather more information before calling them, especially during this COVID situation, we will not get more time to conduct interviews. Interview time might be cut short. We may not be having 2 rounds, 3 rounds of interviews. Employees will try to keep the interview time as less as possible. But before calling a candidate for interview, they would like to have a clear background study. That background checking can be done through the social media. That means before COVID and after COVID, the interview process is going to change drastically. The interview process will get more and more social media involved, because majority of the employees are going to do a background study before even calling you for a direct face-to-face interview. That means currently you are having plenty of time right now because of the lockdown situation. Invest your time to build up your online presence in LinkedIn, Facebook, and all. You have to make sure that you are having a professional presence. So this is a wonderful opportunity to build it so that you are getting prepared to face the interviews after this COVID situation. When the participants of this group is preparing better, what is going to be advantages, you will be way well ahead of other candidates. And 20% is saying that they expect the candidates to have an online presence. Okay, an interesting question. What if we erase the contents of the social media? Okay. Majority of you are in colleges right now doing your degrees, and few of you might have just come out of your colleges, and so there will be plenty of contents which you would like to erase or like to hide when you go for a job search. No, I'm not talking only about software job interviews. The interviews which I took was for different other aspects, which includes business skills, technical skills. It can be for any job. It can be for a government job also. It is not just a software job interview. Any interview can be impacted because of this. Let's say you are a civil engineer, you want to join the company as a design engineer. The architect or the head of the company might be doing a social media check of how you are, or what is your presence in social media, how you are working, or what is particularly in your social media. They can check your profile. A design company, when Tata Motors is going to hire an employee, the HR can have a search of your Facebook profile, what you are doing, and what are the activities you are doing in your colleges. All will be available in your Facebook profile. They can do a cross-checking. A chartered accountant, before hiring a accountant, can do a social media search. Everyone can do this. This is not applicable only for the software job related. It can be related to other profiles also. It can be applied to each and every job profile. It can be even applied for a government job also. Currently, they don't have a process like that. Then there is an issue if you are going to erase all your profile, or you are going to erase. You can delete your Facebook profile. If you are erasing your profile, there is a chance that it will create an impression that you have something to hide. And interestingly enough, if you are going to delete the Instagram or LinkedIn accounts, there is still a chance that even in the Google searches, these images might come up. And for example, if you are commenting that you are keeping something private in Facebook, okay, if we are specifically taking steps to make sure that you can be found by creating some childish name, like putting some star, dots, etc. along with a name, so that you cannot search, because I have seen few profiles which I have tried very much in Facebook. All the profiles will not come up in your search because they will keep some taglines, nicknames, dots and all in their name, so that we cannot search them online. It doesn't feel very professional when the HR managers will be looking forward for that. Okay, then what are things you should be very careful when using a social media? Okay, can you comment why we should be careful in social media? What we have to be careful? What we should post, we should not post. Okay, so make sure that you are not giving any wrong educational or professional information in your profiles. Yeah, definitely signature and information should not be there. Make sure that there is no proactive contents posted in your profiles. You should not be promoting drugs of any kinds. There should not be any criminal behavior, racism, religious abuse, bad mouth of the current employer or the previous employer. Because when you are posting something very bad about your current employer or previous employer and you are applying for a job, you believe that in my LinkedIn profile, everything is pakka, everything is perfect. But in case if your HR manager is having a search with your name, profile in your Facebook, and if you have written a lot of bad mouth about the employer, he will have a look again before searching you. You'll have to think again. So you have to keep all these things in mind when you are putting something in your social media. Can I move to next slide? If you can move to next slide, please type in so that I can move forward. So what you have to do is we have to make sure that our slate is clean. And just before someone was commenting that whether we can keep two separate accounts. There are a lot of professionals who are keeping two accounts. One is for their private, one is for their professional social accounts. In professional social accounts, they post everything about their company details and all they post. Especially when you have WhatsApp and all, you can keep, it is always recommended to keep two different profiles, even in WhatsApp, in Facebook. Even in Facebook, there are options where you can keep certain things as public, certain things as private, so that only your friend zone will be getting this information. All these can be done in the case of clean slate, in the sense make sure that whatever is mentioned in your profile is proper. I will take a small comparison. It is not exactly same, working out same. For example, anyone is looking out for a let's say you are looking forward for a bride or bridegroom, and you will be posting. Where you will be posting? You will be posting in matrimonial sites, right? You will give a wonderful photo, a very beautiful photo of yours, and all the details which you want to present to others will be there in your matrimonial site, right? Everyone agrees with that, right? And you have a Facebook profile. In that Facebook profile, you have information, a lot of other informations which they can search. It is okay. Hope you understood. In the same way that companies also can cross-check. You have a LinkedIn account where you put all the professional information, And in the same time, parallel to that, you are keeping a Facebook or Instagram profile. You are not at all keeping everything professional. So this can definitely impact your job search. When the employees are looking out for shortlisting the candidates, there is every chance that you will be blacklisted. So make sure that you are making your social media platforms professional, clean and professional, so that it is not going to impact your job search. Till now, majority of the companies may not have gone to social medias. There are a lot of companies who are doing the job search in social medias and finding out the informations. Now it is going to increase by huge, because most of the interviews might be through online. And before conducting an interview online, they will try to look out all the background study. They will try to find out your social media platforms, and with the help of the social media platforms, they will do an extensive study about you as a candidate. And now it's time for some questions. I can take few questions. You can chat the questions so that we can discuss. And in the chat box earlier also, if you might have posted some questions, if you can post that question again, we will have a discussion before closing down this session. Yes, companies. Okay, there's a question like Facebook name and LinkedIn name in your CV. There are companies who are asking to put your not your Insta, your LinkedIn profiles. They're asking, companies are asking. You don't have a Facebook, that is not an issue. If you have a LinkedIn, good profile in LinkedIn, that will be fine. You can say that you are not interested in Facebook if they are searching and not finding it. Presence in social media is at least through LinkedIn. It is not really required that you should be having a Facebook profile. How can you extend my networking LinkedIn for job search? Okay, there are a lot of job search sites in LinkedIn where you can join these sites. It is through connections. You have a first contact, you have a second contact. Through these contacts, you can add friends and you can increase your connections. If you don't have a LinkedIn, we recommend you to have a LinkedIn account for job search, because you cannot really present a Facebook profile to an employer. LinkedIn profile, definitely you can connect, because in the beginning itself we said that LinkedIn is like a secondary resume. Even if you are giving a resume to the employees, they might be using a LinkedIn account as a secondary resume. Okay, you can improve your job search in social media by improving your LinkedIn account. In your LinkedIn account, you can make it more professional. You can give more informations. LinkedIn is even having a premium service where they will assist you. If you are paying money, they will assist you how to prepare resumes, how to present things. And you will be boosted in job search if you are paying money to LinkedIn and having a premium account. It is not really mandatory to have a business and personal account. Few people used to keep like that business and personal account. It is not really required to have that. I can take maximum 1 or 2 questions, and after that we will be winding up. If you have more questions, what is the best private policy setting for? Private policy settings, okay. Whenever you are getting something for free, there will be something in the background. That means, hope you all know that Facebook is, okay, when you are having a Facebook app installed in your mobile, there's a backdoor. That means even if the Facebook is not active, Facebook will collect information regarding all the app activities which you are doing if you are not personally going and stopping that application. In the same way, whenever you are giving something free from agencies, they will be taking some of your information. So we cannot recommend which is having the best private policy settings in social media. Definitely whatever contents you are posting in Facebook, when it is public, it can be taken by companies who are doing marketing, who are doing digital marketing. So can I wind up my session? I hope I have answered most of your queries. I will share my contacts here. If you have still questions, what we can do is you can WhatsApp me. This is my contact number. You can WhatsApp to my number your queries where I can find time to reply to that. If your query is lengthier one, please do mail instead of a WhatsApp. If it needs time to reply, that means if it is a lengthier query, you can send it to my email. It is ramkumar.r@sricat.com. You can note down the email and the WhatsApp number. I recommend you to avoid making calls. Instead of that, if you are sending a message through WhatsApp, it will be pretty much appreciated so that I can get back to you. Please mention your name and details when you are sending any queries through WhatsApp. Hope this information shared is useful for you. Just give you a small feedback in your chat box so that I can understand whether it has reached you effectively or what are the changes which I have to do. We might be coming up with more programs like this, and please do keep in touch so that we can inform you about these programs through these webinars. And thank you for your feedback and wish you all a very bright career ahead. And use the lockdown period effectively. Learn some skills. Don't be lazy during the lockdown period. Use time management. Plan it effectively. As you have seen in the first slide or the first session, you put forward your goals, split up the goals into various tasks, and make sure that you are effectively using a lockdown time period so that after lockdown, you are better prepared to face the environment. That means after COVID, the situation might be entirely different. So prepare well. My humble request to everyone is to make sure that you all create a LinkedIn account. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, please create a LinkedIn account, make a professional LinkedIn account, work out on your Facebook profiles, do some changes, make your slate clean, hide those information which you don't want to make public to the employees. And thank you all. Thank you for the time. Thanks for patiently watching and keep chatting to us. And I am giving my session back to Mr. Nirmal so that he can switch out to the next participant. Thank you all. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramkumar. I hope you all have a wonderful session from him. And it's time to go back to Mr. Shivadas. Yeah, Mr. Shivadas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible to you all?
Yeah, I can hear you, Shivadas.
Is it clear? All right.
Yeah, I will share the screen. 1 sec.
Yeah, please. So welcome back to the session on time management. As I have communicated earlier, this time management is basically going to be quite effective for a successful person. To begin with, this 4-letter word time management is going to be, this time management refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. Now, I don't know how many of you heard me before my session earlier for about 5 minutes. The slide I have told that if you have anybody who wants to be successful, they have to use the time effectively. Effectively in the sense that you have to allocate the right time to the right activity. For example, if you are a student, 9 to 6 is what you have been spending in college. You have got hours in between. You have got specialized subject in between. If you want to be successful, you have to do more in the particular field. Now, I'll just hurriedly go to the next slide. Wait a minute. Yeah, why time management? Time management because it is passing of life. Because see, as I told earlier, everybody has got 24 hours per day. And see, it's a common resource. See, I have got 24 hours, you have got 24 hours. The moment you said that you have got 24 hours, how you are effectively using it, what matters for successful. Now, if you look at it, I recall Mr. Asim Premji, the Wipro founder and the CEO. He has told that he used to work for 17 to 18 hours per day, irrespective of the factor that he is about 70 plus. It is not that the amount he spent, but the quality time he spent for his profession. That's what makes him successful. Now, as student, for example, when I was a student, I had a problem with my maths subject, as always, as every other student. What my maths teacher told that, Shivdas, you cannot live without mathematics. You have to learn it. What you have to do is, you have to spend more time with the mathematics subject. I followed the same. What happened next is then after 2, 3 continuous months time, it becomes successful that I started to score more marks in mathematics. See, what happened is the more time you spend with your beloved subject, you will become successful. Third is it's perishable. See, the thing is that you will not get it back. The moment this time is going back, it will not get it back. For example, May 1st, 2020, if I want to get back, I will not get back. Many of the students who are in final year may have a feeling that I should have done better in 10th. I should have put more time on my subject. The same thing along is with the working people also. There will be a lot of difficulties, but time, it is perishable. The time goes off, you'll not get it back. Now you have to do it in a better way, do it with passion and positiveness. Fourth is it's money. Normally they say time is not spent, time is invested. What is the time you are investing in your favorite activity? That returns when you become successful. You are a student, you invest the time in your studies. After a certain time, you become professional. When you become professional, what are the knowledge you are acquired in the college, that become a good aspect for you. Now, some people will say 21 days is the average time to become a good, what you call it, schedule. For example, when I was one small, my mother used to say that I always sleep late. I always get up at very late, maybe close to say that 6:30 and all. My mother used to say that Shivdas, you have to get up early. I said, I cannot. Then what is she said this? You try to get it up for about 21 days. When you do it for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So if you want to have your time, I said it's perishable, it's money, because once you become a habit, your time will get best managed. Now, go to the next slide. Why do we TM? What is TM? Can somebody say in the chat box? Yeah, what is TM? Time management. Why we need time management? To optimize time. Great, thank you. To optimize time. Time is something which everyone says that it is getting lapsing. So if you want to optimize time, you'll become successful. All the 3 years, 4 years in your college, when you spend more time with a subject, you become successful. Second, to reduce stress. Stress is a factor. Students have got stress, working people have got stress. Working people, they say, okay, I have to achieve this, I have to achieve more. But student will say, I have to score more marks, my examination is nearing. Why it is happening? Because we don't follow a timetable, we don't use our time effectively. Only when you use your time effectively, you become successful. So my clear instruction to each one of you who's listening, whether he's a working professional, whether he's a student, is that whatever profession you are, try to spend more time. Allocate more time to the hardest profession, the closest profession which you have, maybe 60%, 40 to 60%. Balance 40% for your family, for your personal, for your sleep, entertainment, and done. So it differs from person to person. Some students are great students, others who will be working, who will be doing post-graduations like working. They also have to spend some time for their working also. So whichever is your core area, try to spend more time on. To reduce stress. Stress has to be reduced. Only when you have time management, you get your stress reduced. See, the stress is a four-letter word, which six-letter word, which has to be five-letter word, which has to be very, 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 very common in today's life. If you want to reduce stress, you need time management to effectively increase our work output. If you want to increase our work output, you have to utilize the time properly. I said 9 to 6 in working office, 9 to 4 in college or 10 to 4. What you have to do is, yes, you have to use the time effectively and become a better activity. Then fourth, to have more control over the responsibilities. For example, the prime responsibility. When you're a student, that's your responsibility. When you're working somewhere, your responsibility to achieve what has been bestowed upon you. If you want to have that, you should have time management. You have to categorize your 24 hours, what has been given to you, what has been rewarded to you, what has been awarded to you. You have to use it effectively. Next slide. How to use time effectively? Effective planning. as Dr. Chako was basically saying, and Mr. Ramkumar was saying in this presentation, each activity you have to do effectively planning. See, since we are all mature people, we know what is being expected out of it. We should have an idea how we should plan ourselves. Your day, your week, your month, your quarter, your year, and so what your life. Planning is basically in your hands because your priorities you should know. Second is what is already Dr. Chakochan has already done, that is setting goals and objectives. What are your prime goals? Your prime goals, you have to spend your time. If you look at Sachin Tendulkar, he was a very successful uh, cricket player, world famous. The time he spent for cricket is much higher. If information I received is correct, he used to spend close to 40 to 41 days continuous. He used to play matches without a break. I don't know whether it is right or wrong at this point of time, but that is his commitment to the, and that is again time. He is committed himself to the profession, and the profession gives back what is being given. Then setting deadlines. Third is setting deadlines. Deadlines is something we know now it is coming. Now today there is a session between 10 to 12 by Network Systems on skill development. So you have been allotted certain time. So we've done everything correctly. Now there is deadline everywhere. You should have a deadline. Suppose your exam is nearing on 1st of May, sorry, 1st of June. You should be prepared yourself at least by a week before, maybe by April 25th or May 25th, whatever. Now, fourth one is prioritizing activity as per the importance. Now, if you really look at me today, if you look at my day schedule, my priority is today's session because 10 to 12, I have to be with a bunch of very enthusiastic people who wants to be successful. That is my plan. So today, my priority to spend time with you. Tomorrow it may change. I may have another meeting or I may have another. So you have to you have to prioritize your activities on that. Now, as your student, your priorities should be on studies because it is always better to say than done. But what you have to do is you have to prioritize it. Fifth one is allocating the right time to the right activity. Now, for example, 9 to 6, 9 to 4, you're in a college and you're studying. What is it you're allocating? You're allocating your classes properly, and at home, you're studying for 5 hours. 5 hours has been allocated properly to your studies? Maybe, may not be, because some people, everybody has intellectually are different. They are not the same. Each person has their IQ level is different. So they should have a better approach level. So please allocate right time to the right activity. You should sleep, you should take rest, you should exercise, you should do public, you should go for a functions and you should have hobbies, all this and that. Okay. Okay, there are some queries coming in, which I will answer it properly later when we at the end of the session. Next slide. Next slide. So sometime we cannot be able to finish our work before deadlines that we can send out. See, better finishing, you should have a better plan first. You should have an idea how to get it. So that is what is matters. So you should have an idea, you should have a plan how to go about it. Okay. So next slide, please. Hello. Good. Fine. Thank you. See, we all have 7 days per week. This is a very important slide in my presentation. We do all have the same amount of time. We have 7 days per week, 160 hours per week. You have 24 hours per day. You have 1,440 minutes per day, and you have 86,400 seconds per day. This is what we have. How we use it effectively on a day-to-day basis, that's what matters. See, when you say that this 86,400 seconds may be pretty huge as far as looking at, but it goes on by every minute, every second, every millisecond is being compounded on that. Now, let us go to the next level, saying that how can you do it effectively? You should have a plan. Plan is something which you cannot never avoid. For example, any activity, you have a timetable. You have an academic timetable. You have to follow hours by hours. You have an examination timetable. You have an office timetable. All this is based on, but do we have a personal timetable?
We have seen that people do not put it properly later when we at the end of the session. Next slide.
Hello? Yeah. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. Use your time effectively. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. This is by William Penn, one of the major speaker person. He's saying that time is what we want most, but that is what we use worst. We want time, but we use it very, very, very worstly. Second, the common man is not concerned about the passage of time. The man of talent is driven by it. Common man saying that, oh, time goes off, let's see what has to be done. But a great person, what he will do, he will say, yeah, I have got 24 hours, let me use it pretty effectively. Third one, the key is not spending time, but in investing it. I always go by this word by Stephen R. Covey. He's saying that the key is not spending time, but in investing it. Spending time is, we normally spend time, but it's not correct. We have to invest time. Our quality time is invested, then we get returns. That's my way of going it, and Stephen R. Covey rightly say that. Next slide. Life turns strange if you don't manage time. If you don't manage your time properly, your life becomes strange. You have to effectively use it. You always spend more time on time management, but there's a very capsule time. Next slide. Yeah, manage your time and keep smiling. Now it's 11:30. I take some calls, some queries, maybe 2 or 3. One more slide is there. Please, next slide. Any questions? I can take a couple of questions. Yeah, Shiv Shakti to everyone. Sometimes we cannot be able to finish our work before the deadline. What we set at that time, what we want to do for the better finishing. See, the moment you get a task, you have a plan. We are all good planners actually. We know how to plan. For example, I mean, our family functions. If suppose you are getting invited for a family function next month, you have a feeling, okay, the first thing you have to take a break on the day if it's a working day. What you should wear, how you should go for that. All this planning. The same thing is with your task also. Every task, every big task, put it into small tasks. How can you do that? Now, that is how you have to go for it. Now, you have to make a task sheet, write it up, then you implement it. So, depending upon the time which you got in between the task, then the deadline which you have, then you will become successful. Yeah, 7 Habits of highly recommend people. Stephen R. Covey, it's a good book to read. Okay, silently go to use time effectively. Okay, fine. Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your patient hearing. Nirmal, back to you.
Thank you, Shivadas. Now we can go with Mr. Alagar Rajan. Yeah, fine. Mr. Rajan, the session is yours.
Good morning. Good morning, all. Take just a few seconds. Just a minute. Yeah. Fine. So we'll start the session. It will be slightly interesting for everyone. How to attend interviews. Now you might just think that like, oh, this is not the right time to attend interviews. Maybe it is lockdown. I cannot go. The one interesting factor is we were having classes scheduled every day. And yesterday, one student has messaged inside the group saying that tomorrow I cannot attend the class because I want to attend the interview. So that is quite interesting. Like many of you, you believe it's lockdown, I cannot attend the interview, but somewhere somebody is like not attending interview still. So that means if we really try, I'm sure you will find the way. So now I'm going to give some tips of how to attend interviews. Maybe you can try to take some notes, so that we can start the next slide. First one is before applying for a job. So what are all factors I have to do? See, if you ask me, after my engineering, I worked with only 2 companies. Okay. The last 23 years plus, I worked only with 2 companies. If I ask while conducting interviews, while discussing with some of the candidates, the 2 years, they would have jumped with 3-4 companies. The major reason is most likely they would have changed the job because that is not the area of interest. So before applying for a job, ensure that whether this is my area of interest or not. That's the first task. If not, you will try to join in the company, and in a short period, you will understand this is not my interest and you will quit the job. So the first factor which you want to take it, please type I in your chat box. Find out your area of interest. All of you, please write I in your interest. Find your area of interest first. One more factor you need to understand, if you want to learn more from the company, if you want to gain experience from the company, your earning will be less. That means your pay will be less. No company will give all the training and pay you very high. Most likely they don't do. Or if they are trying to pay more, they will not be interested for giving the training to you. I can remember one of my staff was coming and saying, I want to write my MBA exam. I need 30 days leave. I have agreed for it. His friend actually was working in Emirates, and he went and asked that manager, and the manager has told, I cannot give the leave for you because it is not required for our company. So maybe at that point of time, my manager was paid less and he got paid more. So one thing you need to remember, if you are trying to earn more, most likely you are not going to get much learning. So in the initial days of your job hunting, you need to give preference for the learning more than the earning. Okay. Companies will try to fix less during the training period or initial period. Why they do this? The first day, you will have doubt with the company. The same way, the company also will have a doubt about you. Whether will you perform or not, they will have a doubt. You will think whether this company is good or not in the first few days. And it will take some time for you to gain some knowledge or experience. So most of the time, companies will try to fix less during the training period or in the initial days. And most likely, you need to put some extra efforts to learn during the initial time. While during my first job, I was spending additional 3 to 4 hours in my house for practicing extra. And the company have not paid for that extra time which I have spent in my house, in my home, to prepare for it. So you need to have extra efforts. So please type extra efforts in your chat box so that you need to understand. So you need to put some extra efforts. Please type extra efforts in your chat box. So now I'm moving to the next slide. Okay, thank you. Before interviews, now we need to think about what I should do before interviews. So there are some methods. So before you go for a fight, you need to get ready for the fight. Am I right? So that is what like I'm trying to explain it today. First one is you need to analyze your strength and weakness. The first part is appearance. For example, like now you are able to see my appearance. Before I am trying to put myself like a display to others, I have to go in front of the mirror. Like now, how can I improve my appearance? So that will play a little bit of role while you are attending interviews. Maybe the dressing will play 50% role to display your presence better. Sometimes you feel, okay, this dress is not good for you, good for me. So if that is the case, like now you need to just put something else. But here you need to understand, you need to go for a formal dress while you attend interviews, most likely. Second one is, what is the knowledge level I have? The company expect postgraduate, but I have only graduate. So that means you are having some weakness. Am I right? So how can I fill that weakness? That you need to really work on it. The next one is additional skills. Even while I'm doing my engineering, now I was learning some additional skills. I have to travel 80 kilometers up and down, like now for learning the skills during weekend. That is only on Sundays. 5 Sundays, like I have to travel. So morning 8 o'clock they start the session. So that means we have to start by morning 6 o'clock. 2 hours before we have to start. Then only we can reach the place on time. So there are pain of traveling for upgrading our skills naturally. So many of you might think I am doing my degree or engineering or polytechnic. Maybe after completing my degree, I will go for some additional skills. It is not correct. Even like while doing your degree, like you need to see how you can upgrade your skills. The last one is communication. We have a lot of experience towards this communication. I have rejected a lot of candidates because of communication skills. Communication is not only talking about English. It is the one which you have in your mind, how you are able to convey, how you are able to convey your message to others so that others can understand easily. Most of the time, I found they are many of them they are lagging in this. So you need to have the normal casual communications. You should not have a stress. You should not have a fear. Now, before you go for an interview, so what you have to do, you need to go to the site and collect the details of the company. So now you have a lot of advantages because you can go to Google and search. You get all the information about the company. Sometimes this might try to help you. And during interview, they might ask some questions related to this, and you might be able to answer for this. Next one is interview technical preparation. For example, I'm going to apply for coding using .NET. The company is using .NET coding. I'm going to attend this interview. What you have to do? You need to go spend some time for preparations. You go and explore. What else I can try to explore inside .NET. Sometime they might try to ask some technical questions during interview time, where you should be able to answer it. Most of the IT companies, the moment you are not answering, I used to get feedback from others. 85% of the questions, if you're answering, there are chances to get the job. That means out of 10 questions, if you are able to answer 8+, you will get a job. If not, they will try to reject. You might think that, okay, I have answered most of the questions, but still they are not selected. Maybe their expectation is 10 out of 10, you have to answer it. Maybe many other people, they would have answered 10 out of 10, so they will not try to consider you. So this will really help you before attending that interview. And most importantly, list of documents to carry. After reaching that interview, when you like, we will notice that like I forgot this interview card. Without in this interview card, like I cannot get inside the company. So you'll have a lot of pressure and tensions. Or you would have noticed I forgot to take my pen, or I forgot to take my certificate, or I forgot to have photocopy of my certificate. All this, it is actually it is going to create trouble for you. So you prepare the list of documents to carry. So before you start from your home, just recheck like whether I have all the documents with me. And I have already told like the dress selection like will play a role. I'm not saying this is the major factor. This is one of the factor. The most importantly, you need to have a proper plan for reaching the interview location. Now we have rejected some candidates because they have reached the venue late. We said like, no, you have come late. I'm not going to consider you. For example, like, no, you have 20-kilometer distance from your house to the company. You are having a bike or scooter. It might take 20 minutes time, for example. Maybe you need to start 40 minutes early. Maybe there is a chance on the way, like there might be some unexpected traffic, or sometimes the bike might have a breakdown. So you need to keep some buffer time for this. For example, if I'm going by bus, it might take 45 minutes. Then what do you have to do? You need to at least half an hour early. That means 1 hour 15 minutes before you need to start. I'm going by bus, but I'm starting just 45 minutes before. Imagine like while you reach the bus stop, if you miss the bus, and most likely like now you have to wait for the next bus and you'll be late for that interview. So these are all points like a common one, like now you need to follow like before attending interview. Somebody is giving a suggestion like I want to use the perfume. It's all like how you are presenting it. It's basically like how you present yourself. Okay, so the pleasant smell like sometimes like will make the interviewers like a bit more comfort. Or if they're allergy with that perfume, so then they might not be comfort. It's all up to you. Like so, you try to use that mild perfume like rather than going for a huge body spray. The moment you enter, they might feel that like it is uncomfort situation for them. Okay. So can we move on to the next slide? Please type N in your next slide. Please type S for N for next slide. Okay. So during interviews, thank you. You need to keep yourself pleasant. Many times I have noticed like we can see their pressure on their face. They are very tensed. And because of that, they are not able to attend the interview proper. Problems will be there. Without problem, life will become boring. I can tell one best example. Now in India, most of the places we are having four-way roads. The highway roads are very good now. Earlier, I used to drive during the night where the roads were very narrow. Like now, I never felt bored. But after this four-way road, while I was just trying to ride the vehicle, like now I was feeling sleepy. So the problems will be there. But it's all like now how you overcome the problem. So don't show your pressure on your face. That itself sometimes like they might not try to select you. So be calm and be normal. Like wish the interviewers, then move on to the next. And most likely you need to introduce yourself brief. One is about your family background. Second one is the knowledge and skills which you have. Sometimes, like you are overqualified, they might not consider you. There are like a few candidates we have rejected. We said like you are overqualified. Even though they are ready to work for lesser pay, we said like we don't want you. So while explaining to the your knowledge and skills according to the company, like you can explain. So don't try to explain everything. It is not really required. If the company requires only graduate, maybe you explain more about that. And if you have any achievements, maybe you can try to explain those achievements. And if you have any future plans, maybe you can explain those future plans. Maybe you are trying to attend interview from these IT companies and you are saying like you are having a future plan to start a company. Then they will think that you learn everything from this company and you go and start and you will become a competitor sometime. So the future plan ensure that that is not going to disturb the company. Yeah, there are sometimes like over qualification also, like they try to reject. They might think that we have to pay more. Then they are like you might try to find another job quickly because of this. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to be relaxed during this interview time. You need to explain clearly, loudly, and you need to speak confidently. Imagine I'm speaking like this. Good morning. I'm Malagar Rajan. Now the voice is having less vibrations. Like the previous one, like the voice, and because of that, don't try to shout. That also will not be. So you need to have the right energy volume. Even if you are showing the lesser voice module, they will feel that like you are not energetic. If you are trying to shout, it might be an uncomfortable situation. Both are important for you. And many times I have noticed the interview candidates, they will not have eye contact. They will try to look somewhere and they will try to answer. If the interviewer eye, like actually you need to look into that. Why? Because from your reply, whether it is true or not, we can see it from your eye. It is possible. So if you are not, even though whatever informations you are just trying to tell them, if you are not seeing their eyes and you are looking somewhere here and there, like, so they might not believe your reply. So please keep eye contact. So that will really help you. Be attentive. Maybe like their mobile is on. You forget to put it in silent mode. So the moment you are trying to attend the interview, like the ring is, it's ringing, your phone is ringing. That means there is a disturbance. Am I right? So sometimes that might be the drawback for you to some extent. So before you enter the interview room, ensure that you try to either switch off or put it in silent mode. Okay. So that you will not have any distraction. And most importantly, it is not necessarily like that you need to give answer for all the questions. If you don't know the answer and you can just reply to them politely, sir, this particular question, I don't have answer. But I'm confident that like now I can learn this and I can help you, something like that. Okay, so instead of that, you are trying to give all wrong reply, and most likely like now you might not be able to get the job. So don't give any wrong answers. If you don't know, just politely you tell them, sir, I don't know this. Okay. I have noticed I have dropped some of the candidates during interview. They have discussed negative. Maybe their family background, they have some struggle. Okay, so they might try to explain that. So directly, knowingly or unknowingly, this negative information the interviewer will be getting it. And the company might have a doubt. So imagine like you are applying for an account job, like, and you are saying like I am very poor, like my father is having only very less income, and the company might think if they are selecting you, will you take their money or not? Okay, so sometimes some of your negative discussions like you can avoid. They might say, sir, how many interviews you have applied last 1 year? Like they might say like I have attended 20 interviews, but nobody has selected me. That means that's a negative discussion. If 20 interviewers actually they have rejected you, that means the company will think why I should select you. There are chances. Okay. And more importantly, you need to speak with confidence. Okay. I think I have already explained this, so we can move on to the next slide. So can we move on to the next slide? Please type yes in your chat box so that we can move on to the next slide. Okay. And the last one, I was discussing about a couple of things like collect pay and selection details. Sometime like they will say like they will intimate you. Maybe you can ask, sir, within how many days will you intimate? Maybe next 1 year they think that I will get the call from the company that I'll get select. So instead of that, you try to collect like now how much time frame they will take to announce that answer, whether they are selecting you or not. And before you leave, just thank them and you can leave that space. Now I would like to put some of the sample questions which they ask generally. The first, most of the time they ask, why would you like to work with us? What's the reason that you want to choose our company? Many times they say like your company is big where I can learn good. Okay, that's the reason. Or like they'll say like I don't have any other choice. And I am interested in working with companies. But you are attending the teaching profile. So you would have told your future plan, I want to work with a company. So then the company is will not try to consider you because your area of interest is different. So you should try to match with the company's expectation also. The reply should be related to your company's expectation. Most importantly, they might try to ask, what are your strength and weakness? Maybe my strength is I can work very hard. Now I do this, I do that, like this, like they tell a lot. In actual, they might not follow. Sometime they say like I asked one guy like I am very aggressive. I asked like now what you did yesterday, sir? Morning, say 8 o'clock I got wake up. Then I was getting ready and I went to see my friend's house. I spent some 2-3 hours. Then I watched TV. Then like I was I went out for playing. Then I come back and I slept. Now they were saying like they work very hard, okay, as a strength, but on the previous day you have not done anything. Like you are sitting idle. So sometimes like the strength which you are trying to explain, it should match with your actual. Don't try to hype just like that. That is one. Next one is while you talk about this weakness, see everyone will have their own weakness. Now, if you ask me, like, now, what is my weakness? Like, technology is my weakness. Anything I see technological, like, I'll try to implement that. Maybe that is also my strength, and that is also my weakness. Maybe I try to spend more because of this by buying some technology-oriented components or equipments. Fine. So maybe, like, the weakness we can overcome to some extent. How will you add value to our company? Most of the time they say, yeah, like I will do everything for your company. Whatever you say, I will do it. If you give something like this reply, then they will say like, no, then why they have to discuss? Okay. If the company is located in many locations, they will say like, no, are you willing to relocate? Well, so before you go, like now, I have to ask you to get the company details. If the company is having multiple locations, most likely they might ask like, now, are you willing to relocate? So if you are giving answer of yes, and they might try to give the preference for you. Another one is, will you work in night shift or weekend? That might be the requirement for the company. Most of the time, like now we ask questions like, now, can you come on Sundays? Some candidates, they used to say, I cannot come on Sundays. And we have rejected because in our company, like now we conduct classes even on Sundays. So that is a prime time. So imagine everyone is closing on Sundays. Even the electricity board, like now they are closing it on Sundays. They are just cutting out the electricity. Even your parents are saying like, no, today is Sunday, I'm not going to cook. I cannot work on Sunday. Even the bus, they are saying like, no, Sunday I cannot run. TV channel, they are saying like, no, Sunday I cannot broadcast. So naturally, at least 50% of the people, they have to work even on the odd time or the week offs, so that others like, no, can use those opportunities. And you should be ready for that. They ask like, now, what is your salary expectations? Sometimes they try to tell very less, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. Sometimes they say like, I need 50,000 rupees. Okay, so be realistic. Maybe the 50,000 might be paid for the good, very high reputed college. They might try to pay 50,000 per month, maybe 6 lakhs per annum. Maybe you are in that standard level of college. Maybe for those type of standard knowledge, they might try to pay only 15,000. So if you are trying to say 50,000, so they might have to try to select you because they might think like, no, the company cannot afford. Or sometimes like, if you are saying 5,000, sometimes like they might try to reject because of it, or they will select you by paying 5,000 rupees. So both will be a tricky one. How long will you be with the company? That is quite interesting. Many will say, sir, lifelong I am going to work with the company. Then I put another question. Can you write it in a bond and give it to me? Or can you give some 5 lakhs worth of check? If you are leaving before 5 years, you have to pay. You said like you are going to work for lifelong in your company. Okay. So it is something like you need to give some realistic reply to the company. So don't say like I want to work lifelong in my company. Maybe few might be trying to work lifelong. There is a possibility. Fine. And if you are saying like, no, I'm going to work for 6 months or 3 months, because duration is very short, sometimes they might not try to select you. Okay. The last slide, I'm talking about this company expectations. What the company, they look into that. They want to have the better efficiency. If the previous person was doing the job for 8 hours, they expect the next person to do the same job in 4 hours time. So they look for better efficiency. That is one. Next one is they want to save the company. So they want to reduce that expense. They might think like, no, I want to pay less, low cost. Predominantly, they look for the availability. Are you able to reach the office on time? Maybe if you are coming late, it might be the burden for you, burden for the company. Less leave or permission. If you are trying to take leave frequently, then it might affect the work. Then the company might struggle. So they might try to find out, do you have any health issues, like in the previous company, whether you have taken the frequent leave or not. All those things, like they try to check. Why they want to check this? Maybe if the company is getting a new project and they want to complete it in a short time, so they need something like an emergency, some extra time that the employee has to work to complete the same job. On time work completion. If you are completing the work on time, that is going to play a major role. I will take another 5 minutes time like to complete. Is that okay, participants? If it is okay, please type okay. I will take another 5 more minutes. Yeah, thank you. Most importantly, they check your attitude. Now, today, during the session, like now somebody was like now trying to write inside the PPT. Knowingly or unknowingly, imagine we are able to find out their name, something like a 200 participants or 300 participants, even in the YouTube live, like now this is like now we are able to the live telecast. Okay, and many people like now they understand that this particular person actually was trying to do that. That's showing something like a bad attitude. Maybe like now if they know, if imagine like no, the company person also is attending the session today, and if he is noticing this is the person, next time like now you go to his company and he will try to reject because of that attitude. There's a wonderful example like now which I can give it today. Okay, fine. So these are all the things like the basic things which you generally look into that. This is something like 80% of the portions like I have covered. Okay, there are few more things like that differs with company to company. If you are going to manufacturing company, they might ask different. If you go to construction company, they might ask different. If you are going to accounts, like they might ask slightly different. But this is common for most of the interviews. Okay, fine. So did you learn anything new from this today's? Like now, please type if you learn anything new. Type N. Yes, I have learned something new today. You have to please type N so that like I can understand. Yes. Okay. Good. So now, like I want to just during the previous session, one candidate was asking about like every company they ask for 3 years experience. I don't have experience. How will I able to attend that interview? Very simple. You need to add your skills. If you are having more skills, there are more chances they will select you rather than selecting one 3 years experienced person. I have a lot of experience, like no even we dropped some of the experienced candidates because the fresher is having some additional skills. So here, like if you are from that mechanical background or civil background or architectural or electrical, like we have something for you. Okay, this is we have done only like during this lockdown period. We talk about this EV. EV is nothing but electric vehicle. Okay, electric vehicle like using battery design. Another one is powertrain. The actual fees is 14,000. Now it is having online training program, and the fees is only 50%. And again, from the mechanical background, we have discussed about NXCAD, Creo, CATIA, SolidWorks, ANSYS, MEP, MS Project, that is Project Planning Management Software. From the civil or ARC, we can talk about Revit, SketchUp, V-Ray, 3ds Max, ETAP for analysis, MS Project. From electrical, they can think of MEP, Revit MEP, MS Project. And if you talk about the actual fees is 8,000. Now again, the person will get 50%. Anything we talk about CAD, the person talk about this AutoCAD. Okay, so now that also like we are giving us a special offer like during this lockdown. 6,000 will be towards this. I ask every candidates like please take a snap of this slide so that you can use it later. Okay, please take a snap of this slide so that you can use it. For the registration, like there is a registration form, like that is www.networksystems.com/CAD. You can note down this for the registration. This is valid only for one day, today and tomorrow. So you need to go and do the registration today or tomorrow to get this, in case if you have a requirement. EV technology is not only for EEE students, even the mechanical students can learn. Electrical students can learn. It is not only for mechanical, sir, or it is not only for electrical. Okay. So can we move on to the next slide? Have you taken the snap of this slide? Can we move on to next? Yeah, thank you. We have another program called internship. If you are the college going students, definitely this internship is going to play a major role for you. This is applicable for any degree students or diploma students or engineering students. Even if you are a passed out student, this internship definitely is going to help. If you are talking about this top 10 technologies currently, like now here, like now we have two courses which is coming under the top 10. One is ethical hacking, another one is machine learning. Apart from that, like now if you want to go for a digital marketing online, then you need to have some web development knowledge. Okay. So in this, the course fee is 5,000 and the offer fees is 2,500. For this, the registration page is different. You need to type www.networksystem.com/internship, or you can call the number. You can collect the details from 9249000400. Again, this is available only for today and tomorrow. You need to register. Okay, you need to give the confirmation, say that today or tomorrow. So with this, like now we are moving on to the last slide. Like now, if you have any queries, like now you can just type this. Whether it is online course or offline course, there will not be much difference. It's all like now how we are looking to this. Our method of training program is entirely different. So you can talk to the concerned person, definitely like now they will give more details. Okay. If you have any queries, like now please, you can also write a mail at ed@networksystems.com, and you can also give your feedback about the today's session, www.networksystems.com/feedback, and this is my contact number. Now you can just WhatsApp instead of making call. If you have any queries or clarifications, definitely I'll be happy to give an answer for you. So how many of you learned something new today? Did you learn anything new today? For the internship, like now there is a practical support also, it is available. Okay. So please give your feedback. And most importantly, the last one is you need to go back and execute what you have learned today. It is not that you learned today and you have not executed anything. You need to go back and whatever notes you have taken today and see whether you can correct those things or whether you can execute those things. I'm sure like now this will help you to come out from the situations. Don't look for the problems. Look for the opportunities. Look for the solution for the problem. Problems will be there. You need to find a solution for that problem. So spend your time for finding out the solution rather than thinking about the problem or worrying about the problem. I wish you all the best, all the participants. Thank you for spending last 2 hours with us. Other than the second session, the initial, like there were some glitches here and there, but we are able to correct it. I'm sure like you have learned something new. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. So the training program is over. Now we can exit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajan. Thank you guys. Thank you for your valuable presence, and we hope you got some information on today's session. And definitely we will come up with new sessions in the coming days. We will inform you about that, and we expect your feedback on the link which Mr. Rajan shared, that is networksystem.com/feedback. That will help us to communicate with you in the further days. And keep the social distancing, be safe. Thank you very much.